Hello, and welcome to my Week 8 contribution for the Deneb roguelike game project. This week's plan was to set up the main menu and the win-lose conditions. However, Zach had already completed this for the midterm checkpoint, so I focused my efforts elsewhere. At this point, I had forgotten to schedule in the player's shield for creation. Additionally, I discussed with my group any other improvements to make, and they suggested a way to change weapons on the fly via an inventory. To begin, I reused the player's idle and walking sprites and added a shield on top of it in Pascal. This pickup sprite was also created with the same program. When setting up the shield animations, a major deviation of this from the other weapons was that the box collider was treated as a collider instead of a trigger. This would physically block objects when activated. The animations were then added to the player's animator with the animations set up in their proper blend trees. The possible transitions to and from each state were then created using the same system as the other weapons. Since weapon setup had been taken care of in week 5, the script was also set up to accept the shield. This is the example of the shield in action. So first I go ahead and pick it up. I can use it idle or walk while using it. And here I can use it against an enemy if I don't get hit. And then you can see me pushing and not getting damaged. After a discussion with the group, we decided to go with a more passive approach to defense rather than active. This would only block projectiles. To make this change, I only needed to change the player's run and idle animations to their shield variant. Next, I needed to create a full pause menu which had inventory and the ability to quit the game. These would be mocked up over the existing HUD. An animation was also added to change the color of the highlight to catch the player's eye. I will describe the pause menu implementation first. References to the yellow selection highlights were made to start programming the interaction. When the menu is open, the user uses WASD or arrow keys to thumb through the options. The highlight box changes position based on their input. By pressing return or enter, the box activates the choice based on its current position in the menu. The first case resumes the game, the second case opens the inventory screen, and the last case ends the game and loads the intro scene. Next, I will discuss the inventory screen. The selection of items is similar to how the pause menu was implemented, but moves left and right instead. The weapon images in the menu would become visible when picked up in the world. When the user presses return or enter on the highlighted item, it'll swap the weapon out if it was picked up in the world previously. The weapon swap function updates the UI image and picks up the weapon, so to speak. In reality, this function simply tells the player what animation to play when the Alt key is pressed. To implement this change in design, the biggest hurdle was tracking ammo. The best way to handle this was to create separate ammo types for each weapon and the separate ammo type for the item pickups. This inevitably bloated my code when deducting ammo as well. There's probably a better way to handle this, but this worked for our purposes. This concludes my work for this week. Here's a working example of the shield and the menu. Here's the shield. I'm going to wait so you can see him block the projectile. And then picking up all these different, oops, if I don't die. And then I can pause. I can either resume, pause again, go to the inventory. And right now I have the bombs equipped. I can equip the bow and then use the bow. And lastly, I can quit the game and I can play again. Thank you.